Hey, I'm Bree, and this is my sister Jules. I'm an English teacher.
And I have a belly full of ramen noodles.
Together we drink wine as we unpack the brilliant writing of the hit 90s sitcom Boy Meets World. Cheers!
Cheers!
What are we drinking?
I am drinking a Sauvignon Blanc from Imagery Winery, which is a California winemaker. And it's a bottle that I've seen on most shelves, but I don't think I've ever had it. You are drinking a different wine. Why is that?
Because we poorly planned. We ran out of wink wines, and now we have to go back to the old way of FaceTiming each other while she's in Nashville and I'm in New York, and we just have to hope that the small wine stores that we go to have the same wines, and they never do. So
Okay, I really am digging this a lot. For a white wine, which I always prefer red over white, if I am going to drink white, I prefer Sauvignon Blanc over anything else. This is exactly what I would want in a white wine. It is light and bright. It doesn't have that buttery flavor that I really don't care for in Chardonnay. So for this type of wine, it's got notes of honeysuckle or something like that.
Okay.
It's good. It's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet.
That sounds delicious.
And this was only like $14 a bottle. Not terrible.
All right. We're going to feature that one on the Instagram. Anything else you'll want to say about how it's made or where it comes from? Or
I will say that Imagery is currently woman-owned, so I have to shout that out.
Cool. Why is it called Imagery?
Good question. I didn't look that up. I will look it up right now. The name Imagery goes back to the winery's founding vision. The founder, Joe Benziger, who founded Imagery Estate in the 80s, wanted to create a winery that pushed beyond traditional varietals and expressed creativity in both winemaking and presentation. He launched an art program in partnership with local and international contemporary artists. Each wine would feature a unique commissioned artwork on its label. Labels weren't just decorative, they reflected the wine's philosophy of blending artistic imagination and winemaking innovation.
Cool. Let's get into the episode. So we're unbelievably on season 2, episode 11, entitled The Beard. Cory discovers that he has the potential to be a ladies' man. This was directed by David Traynor and written by Jeff Manel. We've seen him before. Came out on December 9th, 1994. There were 17.2 million viewers.
I was a month old. You little baby.
Little winter baby. What were your first impressions?
I thought this episode was a lot more sexist than I would expect for this show.
I did too, but I was like, okay, the audience, meaning like the other people in the episode, agreed with us. Like, I appreciated that at the end, everyone was like, you suck.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit satisfying.
Right? And they clapped for the girls. I totally agree. But then they also made up for that by having the therapist at the end be a man. So the writers were acknowledging that there was sexism happening amongst their characters.
True.
So Alan has this very clear definition of what men are like and what women are like. And women are all about process and men are just action. But then at the end, the therapist is a man and he's in the middle and able to like see both sides and wants to collaborate with them. And I just, I liked that the characters aren't showcasing the very close-minded statements that are being made. And the girls are the most decisive in this episode, right? For example, Linda is the one who like leans in and kisses Cory. Like, she's all action. She makes a decision, right? Stacy is like going up to Chubby and being like, give me a damn salad, you greasy man. You know what I mean? And like, Cory's very indecisive. Sean is completely indecisive because he can't decide between two girls. He's not action, right? The writing is showing that that's false, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, fine with it.
Right.
There was a mention of a sex change happening that I was also ready to be like, but what did you think of that?
Well, I loved that was said and just what it was, right? It wasn't I don't remember the line exactly, but I don't think it was like a dig. It was just like making a statement that included that this person had gotten a sex change.
It wasn't that anyone had. It was, what if she does? What if she gets a sex change operation and then she comes to me as a really strong, angry man and wants revenge?
It was acknowledgement of that being what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But in my mind, when he said it, I was like, she could still do that as a woman, though. Like,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
should be worried, especially in middle school. Girls are much bigger than boys generally. So,
Yeah. They definitely have bigger feet.
no, the girls were like super tall. The boys were super short. They had to catch up. Fun fact: girls do develop faster than boys.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember most of us stopped growing by like, I don't know, 7th or 8th grade, and we like shot up. And then the boys really shot up by like sophomore year of high school.
Right, but it happens earlier for girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, no, I know what you mean. He said it, and then he was like, "Hey, it happens," or "It's happened," right?
Yeah.
And I agree that I had my hackles up a little bit. I was like, "What are you gonna say?" And then I was
yes.
like,
yes.
All right, I'm kind of okay with what you said."
I do find myself kind of bracing for impact when statements like that are made. I'm like, oh, where's this gonna go?
Yeah, good way to put it. Bracing for impact. All right, let's get into it. So we start off in the kitchen, and Amy is deciding, speaking of being indecisive, she's trying to decide on a new car to purchase for the family. She wants to get this minivan. And Cory and Eric have the idea that they want to get the turbocharged Ferrari Testarossa. It has 2 seats, which is one more than the Harley that Cory wanted. Amy's like, "And where shall I put my family?" They go back and forth, and Alan is basically trying to push her to make a decision. Actually, no, he's not. The boys are pushing her to make a decision, and Alan is actually being the good guy. He comes in and he's like, "Guys, this is your mother's car. It is your mother's design, and she will make her choice in her own good time. Hopefully while there's still fossil fuel on the planet." Which the environmentalist in me was like, they had electric cars back then. It was extremely expensive, and I don't think that it was a reality for most people. But that comment made me go like, ooh, because it just says like, we're definitely buying a gas power car. I don't know. I'm just thinking in terms of writing. Like, I don't judge them for that. I have gas powered car, and I completely understand everybody that needs to buy a gas powered car until the broader system does something about this and makes it more accessible to have an electric car. It's not on the consumer as much as it is on the big corporations and, you know, the gas and oil companies that are lobbying and messing our entire system up, and the capitalist system that is ruining the planet. But anyway, I just felt like maybe we could have cut that line. That was it. And Alan says this, but he's like, "Somebody look, is she still smiling?" And Amy decides she wants to get a van, and the boys are like, "No." And Alan's like, "Shh, quiet guys, go ahead, sweetheart." And Amy's like, "No, the van would be great for when we go camping, and I can really see being able to fit all the kids for soccer, and it'd help with work. I could put the paintings in it for the gallery." I was like, "Aren't you a real estate agent?"
I think she's both. She's talked about real estate more than art.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like she always has a different job.
Yeah. She'd be
She's
doing
got, like,
jobby jobs.
she'd be doing jobby jobs. She has like a briefcase and she's got Excel sheets, but we don't actually know what she does.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I feel like I vaguely remember talking about an art gallery.
The other thing with the continuity that was off was Turner's reading Hamlet with them, and it's not unbelievable that they would reread Hamlet, but I was like, they already did Hamlet. So
Yes.
why wouldn't
Yes.
one of them, right?
Yeah, when he mentioned Hamlet, I feared that I was watching the wrong episode. I was like, oh, I've already seen this. And then I realized I hadn't seen it. So I guess they're rereading Hamlet.
This is what happens when you watch this show with an English teacher. You pay a lot of attention to the literature.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
I
like-
always pay attention. Have I read any of them? No. But I remember the titles.
Again, don't mind if they're rereading it. I just really wanted one of them to be like, yeah, we were actually in the play. You know, we know this. And I didn't want to be in it because I didn't want to wear tights. But I learned a lot about being a spear holder. Yeah, Sean was Polonius. So why wouldn't he be like, hey, I remember this? Anyway, so they're talking about the van. So Amy never actually confirms that she wants to get the van. Like, she's envisioning these things. And then Alan's like, are you envisioning a color? And she's like, no, I don't see it yet. And he's like, why don't you take a test drive around the living room? So she just like she picks up the paper and she's like, okay. She like goes off to like ponder the color of the car. And Alan just says, well, gentlemen, were you taking notes on one of the subtle differences between men and women? See, we're men. We like to rush. You know, we just like to do it. But women, they don't like to just do it. You got to buy them a car first.
I have a theory that line was improvised.
Right, it seemed like it.
It seemed improvised because I was not expecting it, first of all, and Eric seemed like he genuinely laughed at that.
I know what you mean. It was like he, the real person, was like, ha, ha, ha. You know, like he didn't like burst out into a genuine laughter, but he laughed like he would if he was at a dinner party and someone said that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awkward, like, I see what you did there, kind of laugh.
Yeah.
And then he was like, just kidding. Really, I never said that. So we get a little sex joke from him, essentially. So we're in the classroom and Turner's talking about Hamlet. He's like, so what's Hamlet supposed to do? His uncle offed his father. His mother sleeping with his uncle. His girlfriend is completely schizoid and people are dropping left and right. Wouldn't use this language today. Not very sensitive to people who have mental health issues. Sean says, sounds like Thanksgiving in my house. Not only does Sean completely forget that he was Polonius in this play, but he completely forgets that he has basically said this exact line before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, once again, I was thinking, am I watching an episode I've already seen?
Yeah. He was like, it sounds like Monday night at the trailer or something. So Turner's like, Hamlet is faced with a terrible dilemma, and he freezes like a bunny in the high beams. So we're being much less serious about Hamlet in this episode than we were in the last one. But at the very least, Hamlet makes more sense as a reference in this episode than it did in the last one, because this is all about indecision. And actually, Shakespeare writes about this theme in a lot of his works. Macbeth, there's a pretty famous monologue about how Macbeth doesn't have the spurs to prick the sides of his intent. Like, he needs more ambition in order to do the deed of killing the king, because that's what his wife wants him to do. But he can't he's like racked with indecision. He's too worried about, what could happen in the afterlife and, if it's the right thing to do. Well, it's definitely the wrong thing to do, but he doesn't think so that's why he doesn't think he can do it. But anyway, so Cory is not indecisive in this episode, right?
I'm trying to think if he was indecisive in whether he should pursue Linda or not, but he does admit that he likes her. See, he's open with himself that he likes her, but he's not clear on his intentions with telling Sean, not telling Sean, dating this person, not dating this person. Like, he didn't have a clear path there.
You're absolutely right. Yep. So while Turner is talking about Hamlet, this girl passes a note back. It's Linda. And she hands it to Cory, but it's actually for Sean. And then we get a transition into Feeney's room, and he's actually talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis and President Kennedy being young and also being faced with an impossible dilemma. So this is the theme of the episode. And another girl, who is Stacy, hands Cory a note, but it's actually for Sean. So in very little writing, which is always impressive to me, they have shown us that Cory is just the pathway to Sean for girls, and he is considered to be just Sean's friend. Sean's the one everybody wants. Cory's the other guy. Also, I found it really funny when Feeney was like, young President Kennedy is faced with a seemingly impossible dilemma. Mr. Hunter, what were his names? And Sean goes, Marilyn Monroe or his wife? Woof. So Sean has just received 2 notes via Cory. And so we transition into the cafeteria, and he's going, Stacy, Linda, Stacy. I've never been so depressed in my whole life. And Cory's like, I know. 2 beautiful girls both want you. Poor guy. There's got to be a hotline you can call. Of course, with your luck, a girl would answer, and she'd probably want you. And so Sean's like, well, you just made a decision between meatloaf and chicken. How'd you make that decision? Which is our first moment where the girls are being like very clearly dehumanized. Like, he's reducing them to, it's just like choosing meatloaf or chicken.
Yeah. Or just
and
cut
Sean,
some meat.
Just cut some meat. Which cut of meat do you want? Actually, I don't think I realized that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually great. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Right?
You said it.
Very literal analogy there. And Sean goes, well, I couldn't decide. then I saw you were getting the chicken, so I figured if I changed my mind, I could have some of yours. And then he has an idea. And Sean says, how do you know if you're having an idea? We are definitely in this episode, I'm noticing, getting closer and closer to like the college years humor. It's very silly. So we transition to the hallway, and there's clearly been a conversation off screen. So we're in the middle of the conversation between Cory and Sean, and Cory's going, you are a sick and twisted individual. Sean's like, to you, to me, I'm a visionary. Cory's like, it can't work. Sean's like, it's bulletproof. I start dating one of the girls while you go out with the other one. That way, she's off the market until I'm ready to date her.
Like she's being aged like a fine meat.
The meat market.
The meat market, yes. She's being marinated in the fridge.
Do we say the market for men? Do we say like he's off the market?
I don't know.
Seems to usually be used for women, right?
I've never thought enough about it. I'm not sure.
My experience has been that it's usually used for women.
Yeah.
Like men
She's
shop
off the
around for
market.
women. She's off the market.
Yeah, she's off the market. He's off the market. Yeah, you might be right.
I don't think we like use that term so much anymore, but I think it was used when things were a little more sexist, and it was kind of like women's jobs to like be
Marketable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, but Cory does not think, wow, you're really dehumanizing this girl. He thinks, wow, you're really dehumanizing me. He's like, what? You want me to keep her fresh until you're ready for her? What am I? Tupperware? Which, if we complete the picture, if you're the Tupperware, she's the meat inside the Tupperware. You're
Really?
dehumanizing everyone.
Yeah, he's too busy being offended to realize it.
Sean is the only one who seems to be totally, to have agency here. He's just dehumanizing everyone. He's like, I want all these girls, and I want you to keep them in containers for me.
Literally.
Horrible. Sean is the worst in this episode.
Yeah.
So Sean's like, but what else do you have going on? And Cory's like, I have a lot of things going on. And he takes out his calendar and he just starts reading all of the things that are already printed in the calendar. Like, I've got Lincoln's birthday. And then after that, I've got Lincoln's birthday traditional. I laughed really hard at this joke. And Cory goes, yeah. So Sean, just choose. Which one am I babysitting? Meatloaf or chicken? Ew.
Now we're just calling them by meat names.
And he's babysitting them. Yikes. Sean literally just says, okay, whichever one comes up to me first, because she likes me better than the other one. So it's not even about who he likes, it's just about who likes him better. But this is realistic. I like that they're not perfect, right? Like, they're clearly making mistakes. We're seeing it's fake, it's cartoony and stupid, but adolescents make dumb decisions and do stupid things, and this is a great example of one that's kind of funny. And also, in the end, the writers are like, don't do this is stupid and bad. You will be booed. So then Linda's the one who comes up first, and Cory goes, congratulations. Linda's like, for what? Sean's like, for looking very lindacious today. She's like, okay, call me. And she walks away. And Cory's like, what happened? I thought she was the one. Like, why didn't you make your move? Sean's like, I don't know. I panicked. I can't decide. So he's indecisive, like Hamlet. And Cory's like, fine. Wait a minute. So Sean is supposed to be like Hamlet. And Cory's supposed to be like Kennedy? So I'm thinking we start off with two separate classrooms, Turner's room and Feeney's room. Turner's talking about Hamlet.
Oh.
And Sean's the one who makes the comment in Turner's room about Hamlet. He says, sounds like Thanksgiving at the trailer. Cory's the one who makes the comment in Feeney's room. He says, like, give the guy a break. Like, it was his first global catastrophe. So I'm wondering if the writers are trying to send the message that Sean identifies as Hamlet in this episode because he's indecisive and his indecision is making him unable to act. And then Cory is President Kennedy because he has a situation on his hands where wrong move and boom.
That's interesting. Yeah, wait, I think that might be what they're doing. That's
Yeah.
so funny and like low key random, but I like it.
So random. Oh, these writers are doing so much and no one's paying attention. So Cory ends up making the decision for him. He just is fine. You know what? You take Stacy. I'll take Linda. Sean's like, no, I want Linda. He's so annoying. Cory's like, fine, then I'll take Stacy. And Sean's like, no. Dude.
Goddamn date both of them at the same time. Jesus.
Actually, that would solve everything. Like, what are we? We're not married. Right? So
Yeah.
just talk to them. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
are you cool if I go on a date with you on Thursday, but I go on a date with someone else on Friday? Like, we're not in a relationship, right? Because we haven't even been on one date yet. Are you cool with that? If you're not cool with that, I won't do it. But maybe they'll be cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. Also, these relationships last 5 days max. So we
That was a
could've
long time. In 7th grade.
That's true. So Cory thankfully says, Sean, you're being greedy. And I was like, thank you, Cory. He needs to hear this. Sean goes, no, I'm not. Cory's like, fine, I'll go out with Debbie. And Sean goes, I want Debbie. Cory goes, there is no Debbie. So then we're back into the hallway, and this guy named Roy, new character, is being like a Casanova, and he's talking in this very suave way to Linda. And he's like, so I say to myself, hey, you got a free night. How about giving some lucky girl a chance? And Linda's like, well, I have certainly always dreamed of you asking me. What's your name again? He's like, Roy with an R. So yes or no, we going out tonight? And then Cory, who is he, comes over, full confidence, and says, hey, Roy, come here, quick, you gotta see this. Some guy is making a major fool of himself, asking out this girl who's totally not interested. Oh, wait, it's you.
Ooh.
Who is
Cory.
he?
Yeah.
He was like
He
channeling.
is suave boy.
What happened to Harley's sister?
Oh, I guess they never made it out that episode. That
My
was the last
God.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, but she came over for dinner. She bought them lobster.
Yeah. I guess it didn't work out for Sister Teresa.
So we were to assume that whole awkwardness at the table was the end.
Yeah.
I actually kind of see Cory being with her for a long time. Like, I could see her being his Topanga only because I think he's so stable that he would be good for someone who's unstable. Topanga's really stable too, so their stability, it's good. And they're great, obviously. They're the best couple ever, but I don't know. So Roy walks away and Linda's like, thanks, I never know what to say when creepy guys are coming on to me. And Cory's like, me neither. And then Linda's like, can I ask you a question, Cory? And Cory's like, creepy guys don't really come on to me. That's not what I meant. And Linda's like, no, I meant about Sean. Is he avoiding me? Cory's like, Sean, avoiding you? What makes you say that? Sean comes over. Yo, Cory, I just want... Yeah. And then he just runs away.
Smooth.
Cory's like, he's just shy. Especially around beautiful girls like you. Whoa.
What is going on, Cory?
Cory.
Where did this come from?
Right? He's so smooth. And in my mind, I was like, oh, is he smooth because this isn't real? Like, is it helping him to be smooth because this is an act that he's putting on because he knows that this isn't real because he's just being Tupperware? And is that why Eric is able to be so good at being smooth because he's totally compartmentalizing his true self?
Ooh, interesting.
Is this why I don't trust anyone who's smooth? Is this why I'm having such a hard time in this dating pool? Like, if you're smooth, I'm like, that's not really you. Who are you? But then if you're real, I'm like, I don't think I'm attracted to you. Because you're not smooth.
Then what do you need?
I'm Hamlet, man.
Let's break it down. Why do we think that is?
You're the car dealer. I'm free Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
It is Tuesday.
I don't know, man. I need the perfect combination of real and smooth. I think I do like a person who has a bit of a smooth quality to them, like a coolness to them, but they're not so cool and smooth that they're not real and they can't be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I find myself very attracted to like actors and musicians and people that maybe do put on a little bit of a show, but then right? Like,
Yeah,
there's
I
a
think that's
realness to
more
them, too.
so like charisma.
Charisma. I do like, who doesn't like a charismatic person? Okay, Cory's just said he's just shy, especially around beautiful girls like you. And Linda's like, he thinks I'm beautiful. And Cory's like, how could he not? I mean, look at you. I also think he would say what a nice smile you have and how smart and sweet you are. So Cory tells Linda that Sean's intimidated. Sean's like, no. Linda's like, Sean, intimidated? And Cory's like, well, it's kind of hard to talk to girls you like. And Linda, smartly, because this is what I would say, so how come you're not intimidated? So you don't like me? And Cory's like, because, well, if you notice, I'm not looking directly at your smart, sweet smile. And Linda says, would you? Dang. I will say, I thought that Stacey was a much better actor than Linda. And I was surprised that they cast Linda as Stacey. Like, I thought they should have maybe reversed it. I think Stacey was perfect for that role. I just think she should have had more screen time because I thought she was a better actor.
Yeah.
So we're in Chubby's, and Linda and Cory are on kind of a date, right? Like, not a date. Cory is babysitting her.
They're hanging out.
They're hanging out. He's got her in his Tupperware grasp. And
He's just placed her in the microwave for 1:30.
That's too long for meat. Meat doesn't need that long. Linda's like, I've never been here. And Cory's like, the food's bad. It's a rat hole. And Linda asks for a menu. And Cory's like, dude, no, there's no menu. But he goes to Chubby, first time here, exchange student, Latvia. And then he turns to her and speaks German. They don't speak German in Latvia. They speak Latvian. So he goes, nicht, menu, nicht. Which is wrong. If it was Latvia, it'd be nay. Just wanted to point that out. So he goes, listen, Linda, you just can't come in here for the first time and order. Linda's like, why not? Cory's like, because Chubby doesn't like that. And if Chubby doesn't respect you, he won't feed you. This is very Philadelphia, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's never winter in this Philadelphia. It's all just
I know.
double shirts.
Double shirts.
Crew necks and button downs.
Flannels. That's it.
That's it. Linda's like, all right, so what do I do? And Cory's like, all right, listen. He's going to turn around and raise one eyebrow. He will not speak. You'll have a 2-second window to order. You say, turkey, Chubby. He'll wipe his nose. Then you say, with everything. Then he's going to look at you real hard like he's making a decision about you. If he asks you what you want to drink, you're in. You're set for life. I love this.
I love that.
Very, right? It's very New York, too. That's why I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they do it. Everything happens exactly the way that Cory said. When he asks what she wants to drink, she says, what do you recommend? That was a good move, Linda. Chubby says soda. And then she pushes it. You got diet? And he just pours, like, clearly half consumed soda from some table. It's disgusting. There's no ice in it.
That's the worst part. Not that it's used. It's definitely room temp.
Yeah.
Flat.
Yes. And he just pours half of it out and hands it to her and goes, yeah, half the calories. Cory's like, I have never seen anybody come in here and get that kind of respect from Chubby. You're a natural. So she ends up flirting with him. She asks him to sit on the same side of the booth as her. He's like, okay. He's super nervous, but he does it. Then Sean walks in and he gets super freaked out. But then she leans in and kisses him. Right after she kisses him, she's like, I can't believe you just did that. Which, like, I think wasn't delivered right. This is what I mean by I don't know about her acting chops.
Yeah.
Because it was a little lost, but I think the writing was good. Of course, like, I'm pretty shocked myself. So Sean sees them together, but he didn't see the kiss, right? We're to assume.
Yeah. His head was turned.
So we transition to the kitchen, and Alan has bought Amy the car that she never said she actually wanted, the car that she was thinking about and envisioning herself in. He's like, oh, boys, get ready for mom to jump up and down and be so excited. And he shows her the car. Amy's like, Alan, did you buy that? Alan's like, yes, I did. Amy's like, so we own it? Alan's like, yes, this is not jumping here. Amy's like, this is not what I wanted. Alan's like, Yes, it is. It's green, beige interior, just like you said. Ask the guys, Cory, Eric. And they're just like, they're like looking around. Amy's like, I can't believe you did this. Alan's like, you said you wanted it. Amy's like, no, I didn't. Alan's like, yes, you did. You could see yourself in it. Remember, you were driving and camping with the kids and smiling at your husband. Jump! Jump for the boys. He was very funny in this. And when Amy asks him to talk in the other room, did you notice the audience's reaction?
They're like, ooh.
There was like
Scary.
one dude in the audience too who was like, whoa. It was like
She
someone
means
held up a
business.
sign and he was like, oh, gotta react.
This is so funny too, because I feel like this is actually an interesting issue between men and women, where I feel like a lot of men will be like, I don't understand the problem. Like, I thought I was like saving you a bunch of issues by like doing this for you. You did say you wanted this, so I got it for you, and now you're mad. And I, as a woman, know exactly why she's mad.
You can't make a big financial decision like that affects the whole family without a confirmed yes from me. Yes. And we should have probably bought it together.
Yes. 100p.
I should have test driven it. I should have seen it with my eyeballs before you committed to it. It's for me to be driving everybody around. She was the one who was like, I envision driving the soccer team, and I envision, all the things that she's going to be doing in that car because it's for her. It's her car. Don't do it.
Don't rush it.
Don't rush it. And you need a full confirmed. I pointed to it and I said yes.
And I said, go buy it for me.
Buy it. I would love that. If you bought that for me, I would be so excited.
Yeah. Hear
those words? Yes. Then you're good. Poor Alan. I know he was just trying to do the right thing though.
Yeah.
She's so mad though. So when Amy and Alan head off to talk about the car, Cory turns to Eric and he's like, all right, I need girl advice. Eric is so mean. He's like, no, don't come to me with your 7th grade milk and cookies social problems, okay?
Damn.
And then Cory's like, please, I'm in deep personal agony. And then Eric goes, okay, I'm up for a laugh. Let's hear it. Jerk. Cory's like, all right, listen, there are 2 girls that both like Sean. He can't decide who he likes better, so he goes out with one while I kind of babysit the other. Eric goes, because you're safe, right? Cory's like, yeah. What do you mean? Eric's like, well, I mean, you're no risk. Sean's saying, by putting this girl with you, it's like putting her in a storage bin. She's protected. It's like she's going out with bubble wrap. So much dehumanization happening all around here. Just horrible. And Cory's like, I'll have you know that there are women who think I'm very dangerous. Eric's like who? Grandma? Cory's like, no, not just Grandma, although she is very frightened of me. Eric's like, who else? And Cory's like, Linda, my assignment. We should drink every time they dehumanize the girls.
Yeah.
Cheers. Clink.
Assignment.
Wasted. Linda, my assignment, also happens to think I'm not so safe. Yeah, what'd you do? Run with scissors? Cory says, I kissed her. Eric says, where? And Cory goes, Chubby's. Such a cute answer.
So
Eric's
cute.
like, nope, didn't mean that. And Cory's like, oh, lips. And Eric's like, all right, Cory, you're not safe anymore. All your problems are solved. See, my stupid lizard middle school brain would have been like, okay, kiss someone, then your problems are solved and you're a good, cool person. That's basically what he just said to him. Cory's like, Eric, my problem's just beginning. I mean, I like Linda, and she likes me. But Sean doesn't know anything about it. Eric's like, so you went behind your best friend's back and stole the girl he was lying to. Look, Cory, everything's okay. You've got a girlfriend. Sean's got a girlfriend. Cory's like, you're right. I've got a girlfriend who I can kiss on the lips whenever I want. If it's okay with her.
Yes.
Good caveat.
Love that. I did appreciate the nod of approval from Eric too when he said that.
Yes.
He learned something from the earlier episode.
Yes. Core's like, everything's okay. Eric's like, unless, of course, Sean breaks up with his girlfriend. So now he's planted the seed that Cory needs to make sure that Sean and Stacy don't break up. Look at me dehumanizing them and confusing them.
Drink.
Drink. I will say, for some reason, Linda looked like a Stacy to me, and Stacy looked like a Linda to me.
Yes, I agree.
Right?
I don't know why.
I almost feel like the writers, like, that's a mistake. Like, I almost feel like the writers were like, oh, hey, we meant to do the opposite.
Yeah, I agree.
We're back in the classroom. Feeney is again talking about how young and inexperienced President Kennedy is as he finds himself caught in the horns of an agonizing dilemma. God, I wish I could just speak this way. What poetry just comes out of his mouth so naturally. And President Kennedy is charged with keeping the peace, but he fears that his inexperience may bring about the destruction of the entire world. Cory's like, oh, give him a break. This was his first big crisis. It wasn't his fault he liked the girl. Which I know that he's obviously projecting his own situation, but it was a little confusing because we already got the comment about Marilyn Monroe or his wife. Feeney says something that I have absolutely said a variation of to a student before. He goes, Mr. Matthews, put your head down. It's nap time.
And he just complies.
I've totally been like, name of student, go for a walk. Come back in 5 minutes.
Oh
it's
my God.
Not a choice. It's an order. Please leave.
And they'll leave? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just leave.
You'll come back refreshed. Then we're in the hallway, and Stacy and Sean are in the middle of an argument already, even though they've been dating for 5 seconds. Stacy's like, just once I'd like to see a movie where nobody's head blows up. He's taking her to see probably his stumpy movies. And Sean's like, you're kidding me. What type of movie do you want to see? He's like shocked. Stacy's like, I don't know. How about a romantic foreign film? Which is a little bit ridiculous for a 7th grader, I must say. Or she's very cool. But I don't know a lot of 7th graders that want to watch romantic foreign films.
Yeah, that's true.
Sean goes, oh, please, they don't even try to speak English in those films. Stacy's like, I'm beginning to think we don't have a lot in common. And Sean's like, yeah, well, I'm beginning to think we don't have anything in common. Cory comes over. Stacy, Sean. He puts his arms around both of them. He whispers to Sean, by the way, you're an idiot. Are you two going to let a movie get in the way of a love that should last for all eternity? Linda says, looks like it. And she leaves. So Sean's like, all right, well, good thing I still have the other girl. Thanks for keeping her on ice for me. And Cory's like, hey, don't give up on Stacy. There's a solid relationship there, a relationship that a lot of people are depending on. Sean's like, what do you mean? Cory's like, I mean, you can't live without her. Look at you. You're getting nervous. You're sweating. Your voice is getting higher. Now go get her. Go get her, man. Sean's like, okay, I'll go. He's like a dog that you can just be like, and then the dog's like, what is it? So we're at Chubby's again. Lots of Chubbies in this episode. Had we met Chubby before? Is this our first time meeting Chubby?
It's the first time meeting Chubby.
Chubby.
He's so chubby. And I don't mean to say that he is chubby. I just mean he is chubby, right? Like,
really
that's
is.
Exactly who Chubby is.
That's who Chubby is. Yep.
Yeah.
He found the role of his lifetime. He walked on that set and they were like, we got our man.
Yeah.
So Stacy is already at the counter being like, look, you got lettuce, you got tomatoes. Why can't you just toss me a salad, you greasy, greasy man? Rude. And Chubby's like, hey. Yeah.
Sidebar, I've never understood people being rude to service people when they're ordering food. I'm like, you want a snot burger. Like, you realize this is what's happening next, right? That's not going to bode well for you.
Nope. Recognize the power. that is in their hands.
Lots of it.
Also, just people in general being rude to anyone who's in a service position at all. Cleaners, janitors, custodians, servers, anyone. They're serving you. And that's how I feel about teachers, too. I'm like, I'm serving you. I serve you. My entire life is serving you. All I do with my time is think of ways to engage you and to teach you and to make you a better person. And I know that they don't get it.
But here's the thing, but parents get it. They should get it, and they are not nice too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But can you tell that we both worked in the service industry? It's so ridiculous.
People don't understand the system. There's a system in the kitchen. You can't mess with the system. Mm-hmm. Okay? Also, you go to a restaurant to experience that chef's concoctions, their inventions, their art. You show up and you see ingredients and you start forming your own meal. Obnoxious. Can you imagine walking into someone's home? It's like walking into someone's home and being like, can I get a root beer float? Like, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Obnoxious.
Yeah. Oh, I want a root beer float. That sounds so good.
All right, so Stacy's demanding a salad. Cory comes over and tries to help her out. He's like, all right, allow me. Turkey, chubby. She's like, turkey, chubby, with everything. With everything. They go through the whole song and dance. Chubby ends up going, I am not greasy. I glow.
You tell him, Chubby.
But he didn't offer her a drink, so he doesn't respect her.
Fair. She was rude to him.
Rude. So Stacey's like, wait, I don't like turkey. Cory's like, that's okay. It's not really turkey.
Yeah, what are you imagining in your head a turkey chubby is?
A hero, a sub, depending on where you are, and some kind of mystery meat with probably like pimento, like holes in it, like olives in it, and then like shredded lettuce that's very wilted, American cheese, because why not? And banana peppers, some onions, and mayo. Mm-hmm. And the meat is really thick. That's what I'm imagining.
That's exactly what I imagine. I imagine all of that and then some sort of probably like ranch drizzled on top or some sort of white sauce.
Okay. So Cory starts doing his little act where he's trying to get her to opt back into Sean. He's like, it's so weird seeing you without Sean. I just see you guys as such a couple. How long have you guys been going out? She's like, 4 days. He's like, well, seems like 5. She's like, I don't really want to hear the name Sean right now. And Cory's like, that's okay, I understand. You know, when I watched you and Merle argue, it tore me up. Stacey's like, it did? That's really sweet. Cory's like, you want to talk sweet? Merle is sweet. She's like, look, Cory, it's just not working with me and Merle. Cory's like, give him a chance. Go out with him for a year or 2. See if it works. I'm begging you. Linda comes over right when Cory's got Stacey's hand in his hand. And Cory's like, Linda, it's so nice to see you. You want to join us? Linda's like, well, I'd hate to interrupt. Cory's like, what? This? Means nothing. I only sat next to Stacey and took her nothing hand to tell her she should keep going out with Sean. All right, her nothing hand. I consider that dehumanization. Let's take a drink.
It is. Yep.
Stacey's like, she tries to help. She's like, yeah, actually, all he talked about was Sean. Linda goes, really? Did he also show you how to order? Stacey's like, yeah, he did. And Cory's like, no. See, she was standing in the line, and Linda's like, shows you how to order, gets you all cozy in the booth, talks about Sean, and then boom, he makes his move. Stacey's like, is that what you were doing? Cory's like, no, I couldn't. I don't have moves. I have no boom. Stacey's like, he did this to you too? Linda's like, yeah, it's a whole routine. You think he's so nice. Cory's like, I am nice. Linda's like, he looks so innocent. Cory's like, I'm a newborn lamb. Bah!
Wait, pause for a sec. I think this scene kind of proves your theory that he's Kennedy by saying boom and then being like, and then having like this like affair situation of like, oh, he's cheating.
Yep, this is the boom.
Yeah.
This is the explosion.
Yeah,
that he was trying to avoid.
Interesting.
Writers doing cool writerly things. So then Linda continues, and then he snakes you away from Sean. Stacey's like, oh, poor Sean. And Cory's like, what? And then Sean comes in, hey guys. And Linda's like, Sean, you poor baby. And Cory's like, are you kidding me? And Stacey's like, hey, that's my poor baby. Sean's like, what's going on here, Cory? I hate it. Cory's like, nothing good for me. Stacey's like, your so-called friend here has been trying to snake your girlfriends behind your back. Linda's like, he pretends to build you up, then he makes his move. Cory's like, no move. Hardly at all. None to her. Maybe a little over there. Talking about Linda. Listen, Sean, buddy. Sean's like, girls, could you excuse us? Stacey's like, I'll see you later, okay? And then Stacey's like, I'll see you after that. No, Linda's like, I'll see you after that. God, second time I dehumanized them. They're interchangeable to me. They're chicken and meatloaf. God, drink. How dare. So, and then when Linda ends up leaving, Cory's like, yeah, fine, I'll open an antique shop.
Wait,
Cory,
I don't get that.
Like, he's just old and no one wants him, and I'll just go off on my own and sell antiques like a spinster. I don't know. And Sean's like, Cory, I asked you a simple favor. Cory's like, yeah, you thought I was safe, didn't you? You thought I was bubble wrap. Well, I am not safe. I am your most dangerous friend. Sean's like, you like Linda? Cory goes, yeah, I do. Sean says, Cory, that was not part of the plan. And he doesn't seem mad. He's just like processing it. Cory's like, well, maybe I don't fit into your safe little plan. Maybe that first day you came up to me in the hallway and said, Cory, babysit Linda for me until I break up with Stacey. I should have just said no. But I was stupid. I'll tell you something, pal. I'm never going to be that stupid again. Meanwhile, this whole time, both girls have come back into Chubby's and have heard everything that he has just said. Classic sitcom.
Classic.
And he just pauses and he keeps staring at Sean and the girls are behind him and he just goes, both of them, right? Sean goes, yeah. Cory goes, I'd turn around. They're both going to be there. I laughed. He's so funny. Such a good actor. Sean's like, Linda, Stacey, we thought you left. Boy, we really thought you left. Stacey's like, I forgot my purse. Wasn't that lucky? Cory was like, oh, yes, very lucky. Here you go. And he hands her her purse. And Stacey hits him in the arm. And then he's like, what about him? And then she hits Sean too. Linda's like, I don't know which one of you is sleazier. You two are, and the whole place just goes, scum. And she goes, thank you. You treat us like objects, not people.
There you go. Finally.
Finally, yes. Cory goes, you're right. I'm real sorry. Sean says, I just hope we can put this whole thing behind us and start fresh. Okay, Cory, I'll thumb wrestle you for Linda. Drink.
He never said sorry.
I'll thumb wrestle you for Linda. They leave. The whole place bursts into applause for them leaving. And Sean just starts bowing like they're clapping for him. And Cory's like, Sean, they're clapping because they hate us. And Sean goes, oh, well, same to you. It's so ridiculous in this episode. And Cory sits down. Sean sits down. Cory's like, I miss Linda already. Sean's like, I miss Stacey and Linda. Oh my God, Sean. Right up to the end, you never learned your lesson. You are the worst. And Cory goes, and Debbie. And Sean goes, and Debbie. Cory goes, there is no Debbie. And Sean goes, well, then how come I miss her so much? He's so dumb. Cory goes, because you're nuts. So Sean goes, so here we are, just the two of us, couple of guys. Cory goes, no, he goes, so here we are, just the two of us, couple of dangerous guys. Cory goes, me too. Sean goes, you? You are very dangerous. You're so dangerous, I am never going to trust you with a girl again. Cory goes, so what you're saying is I lose my first girlfriend, but my best friend finally begins to respect me? Sean goes, yeah. Cory goes, I'll take it.
That was weird.
That was weird.
I watched this episode last night with Anthony, and we both went like this, like what? We were just so like, now you respect your best friend? Like, that was weird.
Mm-hmm. I respect you because, well, tell me, why do you think that Sean now respects Cory?
Because he thinks he has game. That's what's being told to me.
Yeah.
But that also does not fall in line with what we know about their relationship.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's interesting about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking back to the episode where I think it was the episode where Cory wanted to go to the party and he like wasn't cool and Sean was cool and like Sean didn't care. He wasn't bothered by coolness and he was like, you're just Cory, like you're my best friend, that's all that matters. And now because Cory has so-called game, that he now respects him.
Yeah.
That is a weird takeaway and a
Mm-hmm.
weird and also not consistent.
I will say the writers threaded a needle in a really interesting way because Cory didn't do anything actually, like the worst things he did were the comments he made, like, what am I, Tupperware, and which meat do you want to choose, like meatloaf or chicken? Like those were his worst moments, but he didn't actually dehumanize either of the girls. Like he really did like Linda and he was real with her. And then with Stacey, he actually was real with her too, and it was just a complete misunderstanding, Three's Company style. So
Yeah.
They did a really cool and interesting thing where, like, Cory, I'm not actually upset with Cory. Like, I think he kind of did his best and fell into a messy situation and definitely made some comments that are not the best. But at the end of the day, I don't think his, like, actions, I don't think his actions prove that he really does see them as meat.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas Sean
I agree.
fully just sees them as meat. At the end of the episode, he's like, oh, I miss Linda and Stacey and Debbie because even an invisible girl is on the same level as these two other girls because it doesn't actually matter. It's the idea of a woman for him.
Yeah. Drink to that.
So we get a button. That's the end of the episode. We just get a button on the episode, which is not even a button. I guess it's it closes up the whole car situation with Alan and Amy. And Amy and Alan are sitting in a chair across a desk from a car dealer, and Alan hands him the keys back, and he's like, I know this is a little strange, but we'd like to return the van. And the car dealer is like, why? And Alan's like, it's kind of complicated. There was a little miscommunication. Car dealer's like, did somebody here assume that somebody else was in a life position that they weren't in yet? And Amy's like, yes, someone did. Alan's like, you said you wanted the van. And she's like, you just went out and bought it. You told me to buy it. Didn't. And the car dealer's like, excuse me, this is not about assigning blame. This is about who you are as individuals and as a driving couple. I think it's funny that I think therapy was pretty big in the 90s. Like, I remember the therapist in the Santa Claus? Rather... That's like so in the Santa Claus, the kid's dad is a psychiatrist, or the stepdad, or like the new boyfriend.
Yes, and it was kind of a joke.
It's a joke.
Like, he was made fun of a little bit.
He's a psychiatrist.
Yeah, like they're all stuffy and don't have a heart, don't believe in anything.
Or like rather they just like always have the right thing to say in the moment, and it's a little bit emotionally detached from whatever's actually happening, right? Like they're always very calm and level-headed and
weenie whistle.
Yeah, I Mystery Date Game. I love that movie so much. Yeah, Yeah, like I think in the 90s it was becoming kind of a thing. Like people were going to therapy and it was sort of becoming mainstream, but it was also people were making fun of it a little bit. And
Yeah.
as someone who works in a school full of psychiatrists, I laughed a lot at this because this really is the way that everyone in my school handles conflict. And it can be, as an emotional person myself, English teacher, poetic, loud, lots of emotions, lots of feelings. I feel like sometimes I just want to grab the invisible entity that is the psychiatrist's like mindset and be like, feel something, say something real.
Yeah.
It's very like AI to me, like AI is a great therapist because it doesn't really have any personal stake in anything, and it just has like a robotic way of having you recite back to yourself what you just said and really unpack it, right?
You just want to see them get unhinged. Like, yes.
I just want to see it. Exactly. Anyone who's like two together, I'm scared of you. I'm like, what's lurking in your depths?
Yes.
So Alan's like, what kind of car dealer are you? He's like, I don't want to hear that word. But what I want to hear is the sound of you two listening to each other. Now, tell me about Amy. Not the Amy that the world sees, but the inner Amy. I laughed. She's like, well, I've never felt that I was just a wife and a mother. Good for you, Amy. Yes. And I like that we added that into this episode specifically where women are dehumanized, right? Like she's like, I'm more than these roles, right?
Yes.
Alan's like, how long is this going to take? And he just goes, an hour today. And then I suggest that we get together again next week. And then the week after that until we start to see some progress. So he just like fully takes on the role of therapist, pulls out like a pad and paper, and then he's like, Tuesdays are good for me. Amy's on board, and Alan's like, I just want to buy a car. I give you money, you give me metal, we drive it home, it's done. Tuesdays are fine for me. And then the episode ends. And that's it for the episode. We didn't have a word of the day. Oh, the beard. That was my word. The title of the episode is The Beard.
Okay, let's talk about it, because I don't know why it's called The Beard.
You don't? Do you know what a beard is?
Well, I know it. I don't know if this is the term you're thinking of, but the way that I know a beard isn't a beard somebody who's like masking their sexuality?
It is like if I'm gay, but I want to be seen as straight in some social situations, I can have a beard. Well, actually, it's often used the other way for gender-wise. But anyway, I can have a beard, meaning I have a male that pretends to be my husband or my male partner, but it's really just my friend. Mm-hmm. And it often they'll live with you, so you can be anyway. But it was often used the other way. So a gay man having a female best friend, and that's his beard. And I looked into why it was called a beard, and if you think of a beard as a disguise to make you seem more masculine, right? So think of a man having a disguise, she adds masculinity to him because masculinity is heteronormative in this fake reality, right?
Yeah.
So so it is often associated with the gay community, right? So that's why I was like, oh, interesting. So in the broader sense, it's just a disguise to make you seem more masculine. So I'm trying to figure out, who is the beard in this episode?
And is that the reference they're making?
I think it is.
The beard.
A disguise. Or maybe a decoy?
Okay, the way that this describes it, in slang, a beard is someone who covers up or distracts from the real situation, often used to describe to be a person who dates someone to conceal the truth about their actual romantic interests. So yes, in this case, Cory is the beard.
Right. It's still a bit of a stretch because it's not like Sean's actual romantic interest is the girl that he's keeping in the Tupperware. It's just he's holding on to a girl until Sean is ready for her. But yes, if we don't think too deeply about it, Cory is kind of like a beard in that way. It's not the best. I don't know if I love that as a title for this episode, but I get where they're going.
Interesting. It's interesting. Well, because I think because we have the Kennedy reference and the Hamlet reference, I would think the title would be referencing one or more of those things.
I think we're thinking too deeply about it.
Probably.
I'm usually into that, but my brain isn't working today, and I'm like,
That's
I don't
all
know.
good.
I don't think we. Yeah.
I think that makes sense to what we've already said.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
What are your takeaways?
I have no idea. I don't know what I'm supposed to be taking away from this. What are yours?
It's a good thing that you do not have takeaways.
I know. I don't want to take away. My takeaway is to not objectify people.
Yeah. Let's not dehumanize people. Same. I'm just gonna. This episode reminded me that like kids are doing this to each other. It like because I don't talk about their dating lives with them. I keep that very separate. But I'm like, man, this is a ridiculous cartoonish version of what's going on. But they are kind of talking about each other in this very dehumanizing way, where they're like, oh, like calling. Like I'm thinking about in Gilmore Girls in the later, like in the last season when Rory's friends with the artist girls. Do you know what I'm talking about? One of them was the girl from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, with the bangs.
With the bangs
and
the cute nose.
Great. Oh my god,
yeah, and her boyfriend is boyfriend. Like she just calls him boyfriend. Remember?
Yeah.
And then it ends up being the guy that Rory was friends with, and he was in love with her, and it's that whole thing happens. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yes.
Such a good show. Yeah, just like her calling him boyfriend. And I remember back when I was younger, people that you were interested in being called like one portmanteau, like not portmanteau, that wasn't the word I was trying to say, synecdoche. Like when you take like one part of a person and you call them that, like if someone has a missing finger and so you call them Stumpy, or you call them like Pinky because they don't have a pinky, you know. It's just like, so that stuff is happening. I remember there was this one guy in college that like when he introduced himself, it sounded like he said Dijon was his name, but it was like Jake. It was like not at all that. So we just called him Dijon for like years. Like just, you know, like there's stuff like that happening a lot with adolescents and dating. And yeah, this episode just reminded me to keep in mind that they're doing this, and how can I find subtle ways to combat that and make them think more deeply about humanizing each other and not doing, because it's super messed up.
My fupa is pronounced today.
What? What is that?
Your fupa?
What's your fupa?
You've never heard that word before?
Don't make me sound like the crazy person right now.
Okay, I guarantee you every listener knows what a fupa is.
What is a fupa?
It's the like fatty area between your vajayjay and your belly button.
Why is it called that?
I don't know, because it looks like a fupa.
Fat under...
Oh, yeah. I forgot. It's an acronym. It's gotta
be an acronym, yeah.
It's fat under area.
Oh, my God. That... Your fupa is pronounced today? Girl, don't even get me started. I feel that. Something's happening.
Well, pregnant, perhaps?
No, certainly not. Certainly not. That concludes the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Rate and review us. We would love 5 stars. We would also really appreciate some subscriptions. Please subscribe. Follow us at Boy Meets Wine Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, soon to be on YouTube. The name of the wine we had today was Oko Cabernet Sauvignon and Imagery Sauvignon Blanc. Theme song credit goes to Julia Rosa, and next week's episode is Season 2, Episode 12, Turnaround. Cory plans to go to the school dance with a cool girl. Bye!
Bye!